(33688). Rejected as invalid, 284. Valid poll, 33,404. 33404. The quota is 8,352. 8352. The first preferences are as follows. Creed, 7,057. 7057. Crowley, 7,431. 7431. Moynihan, 7,777. 7777. O'Riordan, 3,796. 3796. And Roach, 7,343. 7343. No candidate reached the quota on this count. The next operation is the exclusion of the lowest continuing candidate, Mr. O'Riordan, and the distribution of his 3,796 papers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Count Centre for the constituency of Cork Northwest here in the Montrose and Macroom. It is just 10 to 5 in the evening and we have just received the first count. The total ballot was 33,688 votes. There were 284 spoiled votes, which left a total valid poll of 33,404 votes. Therefore, the quota was 8,352, and none of the 5 candidates up to now has reached the quota. They did poll as follows. Donald Creed, 7,057 votes. Frank Crowley, 7,431 votes. Donald Moynihan, 7,777 votes. Jack Roach, 7,343 votes. Sean O'Riordan, 3,796 votes. This means that Sean O'Riordan of the Progressive Democrats has now been eliminated and his votes will now be distributed among the other candidates. With us here at the moment we have Sean O'Riordan of the Progressive Democrats, and as you know he has just been eliminated, but we welcome him to the programme, and I must commiserate with you, Sean. I suppose I must first ask you, of course, you're disappointed to be the first to be eliminated?
Well, naturally enough, when you go into politics for the first time, you have high hopes. Maybe we were expecting another 1,000 votes, but that's the way the people have chosen, and you accept the way the people. It's first time out for me, never before in politics, never a member of a party, and never knocked on a door until this time, so I think we did extremely well. People were very kind.
So you would be very hopeful if you get another chance that you might increase on your performance on this occasion?
Well, I think people will know me next time round anyway. They know the sort of style our party uses. Mind you, on the doors people were extremely nice, most welcoming and most encouraging as well, as were the other parties. I must say I met many of the candidates and their supporters right through the campaign, both at church gates and at doorsteps, and they were extremely courteous and kind, and especially to the new man, when it came to church gates they left me in ahead of them on occasion, which is very nice.
Well, that's great to hear that kind of cooperation was forthcoming. Having gone through it once, what are your overall impressions of the amount of time you had to put in to get this far and the amount of work you had to do to get this far? Were you happy overall, I mean, with your success as a result of the amount of work you put in?
Oh God, yes. Well, really, you see, being our constituency was only organised about 7 months ago, which leaves us with very few workers. Those who were with me, I couldn't possibly thank them half enough, in fact. They have put in a vast amount of work, their own time, their own petrol, a real hard slog on my behalf, and I suppose if I were to be disappointed at all, it would be a disappointment for them, in actual fact. But we learned a lot this time around. One of the things that I would advocate actually for the future is that postering should be abandoned. I think there's too much of it. There's a lot of waste of money. It could be used maybe at polling stations. Excuse me. But I think the vast amount of postering, it was saturation point this time. Now, we didn't have either the manpower or the money to do the same, and I think we were as well off not to be quite candid with you. Another point, I think, is that weekends are a better time for elections. I think we should follow the European style and have our elections on a Sunday. A lot of people who work away from home, or young people who are in third level college, weren't, it was very difficult for them to come back to vote, and I think that was borne out as well in the actual returns, where it was stated that the young people hadn't come out, and hard to blame them for not coming out in that situation. I think we should have a go at that.
Were you pleased with the overall poll in Mid Cork? It was or in Cork Northwest, it was rather high, 80%. Do you think that suited you?
Well, Cork Northwest is famous among all the constituencies. It is generally either first or second in Ireland as far as turnout concerned. Yes, I think that we have to accept the will of the people. We can't say, well, if only. There are no if onlys in this constituency. We had the voice of the people, over 80% turnout, and when you reach that stage, you say, well, that's the way the people feel. And I think in actual fact, the number twos, if we knew my number twos, I think you would see a vast movement. People are yet at the stage where they're afraid to break away from the old party, but they're sort of tinkering with the idea. Maybe next time round they will do it.
Right. Very good. At this stage, of course, we have a neck-and-neck contest. We have the four remaining candidates for 3 seats. They're all on 7,000 plus votes. You personally, how do you feel your transfers might go, or have you any idea?
Well, basically we have no idea, because on the door we didn't ask. People did ask us where should we put our number 2, and our statement was very simple: you put it wherever you please. We have no preference for any party, despite statements made to the press by Dr. Fitzgerald about coalition and so forth. I personally, and you reject that, and the party leader did it as well. So we let people make their own choices. So what happens as well. We have no idea as to how they would go.
I presume you might have been keeping an ear open to what's happening in the rest of the country. Are you happy with the way the Progressive Democrats have been doing? They have been doing very well in some constituencies. Are you aware or even happy with the way things have been going for you in general?
Well, just people reporting as you go along. You know, people said you're doing well, and in such a constituency in Galway now, and you're doing well in Cork. I think in all, overall, they're talking about, at this stage, about 14 seats. And if we get 14 seats in Ireland, I think you're into a whole new scene, a whole new party, and I think we'll go from strength to strength from here.
And what about yourself now? I mean, is it back to teaching, or do you hope to, at some stage, hopefully make a break and get into the political scene in a bigger way?
Well, Monday morning, I shall be back in class. I'm sure many of my students won't be very happy with that. But for me at the moment, I have no plans. Our first basic thing would be, if we were to contest an election in the future, it would be to set up a proper organisation. We are extremely thin on the ground. We haven't had the organisation. That's what we need. We need people in every village, just 2 or 3. That's what you need to be able to compete. It's a very, very tough, and there are great organisations by the other 2 parties, and if you want to compete, then you have to be as organised as they.
So you are pleased with your overall return of votes in this election?
Oh, absolutely, and I must at this stage thank, of course, those people who did vote number 1 for me, and they may rest assured that they needn't be a bit disappointed. We have done extremely well. They showed great courage, because we had not one PD vote in this constituency up to 2 days ago. Now we have almost 4,000 votes, which is great.
Very good. Thank you very much, Sean Reardon, and we congratulate you on your performance, and we look forward to hearing more of you in the near future. So for the moment, you have it there, ladies and gentlemen. Comments from a man some very enlightening comments, and we hope to get some more from the other candidates as the day goes on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Result of second count, that is the distribution of Mr. O'Riordan's 3,796 papers. 287 papers were non-transferable. The 3,509 transferable papers were distributed as follows. Creed plus 1,292, 8,349, 8,349. Crowley plus 1,087, 8,518, 8,518. Moynihan plus 566, 8,343, 8,343. Roach plus 564, 7,907, 7,907. Mr. Crowley, having exceeded the quota, is deemed to be elected. His surplus is 166. While this surplus cannot affect the position of the lowest continuing candidate, Mr. Roach, visiting the second lowest continuing candidate, Mr. Moynihan, it can have a bearing on the order of election. Accordingly, the next operation is the distribution of Mr. Crowley's surplus of 166.
Well, with me here, we've just got the result of the second count, and Frank Cowley has been deemed to be first to be elected. Congratulations, Frank. You must be very delighted indeed.
Very, very happy. I'm very happy for a whole number of reasons. I'm particularly happy that Donald Creed, who has contributed so much to Fine Gael in this constituency for so many years, made all of this possible. And without Donald Creed's help, cooperation, a tremendous organisation, a wonderful Director of Elections, Gerard Murphy, it would not have been possible.
It must be especially pleasing considering that Cork Northwest was deemed to be one of the really marginal ones where maybe the Fianna Fáil hope to get a seat, that you managed to preserve the status quo against all the trends in the country at the moment.
At this stage, it hasn't sunk in yet, but I would have to say that with the kind of organisation that we have, and when I say we, I speak of Donald and I have here, it was never on that Fianna Fáil would get us that second seat. Never on.
So you were never perturbed, you were always sure that the transfers from Mr. Sean Reardon would transfer over in your favour?
I got this on the ground that there was a distinct support for Fine Gael from the PDs. Distinct support coming across all of the time.
Very good. What about perhaps you haven't had time to reflect on the national on the election on the national scale at the moment, but maybe you have some idea of how things are going overall, or are you happy with the general trust of the country?
First of all, let me say I have no idea what's going on, because in this business, man mind thyself is the first commandment, and then mind your colleague after that, which Joel and I have done together for so long, and I'm very happy with that. But overall, I have no idea. I'm sorry, I have no idea, because I haven't seen radio, seen television or heard radio since early morning.
You must be exceptionally pleased to be first in this time. The last time you were, if I recall, were you last in? Second, sorry, my apologies, but you're top to this time.
Well, I'll tell you, all I wanted was, I'm not very greedy about seats, but so long as Donal is with me on that platform, that's all I want.
Very good. I'm sure you'll have a great night celebrating tonight.
I think there may be 1 or 2 pints drank tonight.
Okay, thank you very much, Frank Crowley. Again, we congratulate you, and
very much
we know you'll represent us in the Dáil. Thank you very much.
And here we have Mrs. Crowley. Mrs. Crowley, how do you feel after the victory?
Absolutely over the moon.
That's great.
Marvellous.
Great celebrations tonight.
Tremendous indeed, yes.
What's your name?
Ria.
Pardon?
Ria.
And how do you feel, Leah?
Fine.
Proud of Daddy?
Very good.
And this is his son here.
Ken.
And are you proud, Ken?
Yes, very.
Great celebrations in the Crowley family tonight.
Thank you.
We'll go back now to Gerard Coakley, and he'll give us a rundown on the present position. Gerard?
Thank you very much, Helen. Well, after those euphoric scenes and Frank Crowley being elected, it's just worth recapping at this stage what is happening at this moment in the Montrose. As you know, the final two seats will be filled by Donal Creed and by Donal Moynihan, but Frank Crowley has a surplus of 166 votes, and we are waiting to see those. They are going to be distributed now, and all they will really determine is the order of entry into the Dáil of Donal Creed and Donal Moynihan. So we're just awaiting that count at the moment.
Third count. Distribution of Mr. Crowley's surplus of 166. Creed plus 130.
courtesy and kindness which I've always extended here on counts such as this. I am indeed grateful for that. There are other people I want to thank as well. But let me say that tonight is the proudest night of my life. It is not because I'm on this platform. It is because my friend and my colleague Donald Creed is with me. On this platform, and I'll say it again, that were it not for the generosity, the work and the commitment that Donald Creed has given to Fine Gael, there would never be a second. We have, in my opinion, the best organisation in the country called Northwest. And I believe that there is one guy who does a little bit of work every now and then. He rings the odd friend, I think he's one or two friends left. And he's made a little contribution as well to Fine Gael one way or another. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking about our organiser, John Rock. Because you've worked like you never worked before. And I believe that our victory as a consequence of all of that is very sweet. We were written off and have been written off 4 times in a row in this constituency. I said 4.5 years ago on this platform inside the town that Cork Northwest is no longer a marginal. I still say it. Progressive Democrats and give me the number 2. I want to express my to those members of the Labour Party who supported me as well yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very sweet day for our organisation in this constituency. I'm very proud of this organisation. I'm proud that we had a good campaign, an efficient, clean campaign, an effective campaign, a campaign that was successful. There are so many people out there, but I want to thank those people who spoke, those who could have brought posters, candidates, and so on, and I'm not through them all. It couldn't be done tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, all of that work has bore the sweet fruit that we look for. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to second the vote of thanks proposed to the returning officer and staff by my colleague, Deputy Crowley. I would like to join with him, of course, in expressing thanks to all the other people he mentioned, our own organisation in Cork Northwest, the presiding officers, the board, council members of the Hallisey Common who helped throughout yesterday and again here today. I would also like to join in with Frank in thanking Sean Reardon and his supporters of this election here in this constituency today. And I would say to Sean, congratulations for the campaign. Well done and very well carried out by himself and his workers. I would also like, of course, to thank the members of the Labour
party who did come out and support me. I am very grateful to them. I don't want to name, even though I would like to name some who were very, very helpful. All played a part. Returning the Frank and I to this constituency. Now, I don't know at this particular stage how long more that kind of combination will go on. I sincerely hope we won't have an election for a while, and it is quite possible that it's my last time here thanking the returning officer. But I want to say that not alone to the returning officer and to his staff, but to the officials generally. As my 22 years in public life, I've always found the officials very, very helpful and very courteous indeed. And if it is my last time, hopefully, that we won't have an election for the next year or two, I would like to place a record here than that, and on my last occasion, my thanks and my gratitude to all those people in public office, particularly the staff and the members of Cork County Council. I want to say now, and I don't want to be in any political. I know that this was a very difficult campaign. It was about the hardest campaign that I ever fought in all my time in public life. I know the results here today are very well worthwhile. The fact that we were returned against the odds, because the media, nobody gave us the hope. And I think it reflected not credit on Frank Crowley, not credit on me, but it reflected on the management of the campaign and the full maximum use of the vote that was there. As anybody who will study the figures today, to those people mentioned by Frank, the chairman and the members of our constituency organisation, the director of elections, and all those people who did so much to make sure that this was a campaign. I am very pleased, ladies and gentlemen, and if it is my last time, I can assure you that I will work as hard as I have done in the past, and regardless of what way you voted in Cork North West, I am at your disposal for a big amount. I'd like to thank the returning officer and the staff and everyone, the party and everyone that took part in this court here today. And I would also like to thank each and everyone of our party who went out in canvas and gave that time to get that extra vote to increase the Pierre-Paul vote in Cork North West. I will do my best to say what I have done in the past to help out each and every one of you in this constituency, regardless of party, what party that feel with, to help them out in every way possible. And I would like to thank as well, I will thank those who, the Progressive Democrats, who gave us their support today, and also the Labour Party.
County here today in such an efficient and effective manner. And also not alone today, but which are whole election campaign, particularly yesterday, and Garda Síochána and all others. It is with the efficiency that we have come to expect from the officials who operate within this county. I want to first and foremost congratulate the 3 deputies who have been elected: Frank Crowley, Donald Tree, and Owen Ryan. For my own part, I suppose I wouldn't be human if I didn't say I was disappointed. Certainly, I am far more disappointed for the horde of workers who worked so much and did so much for me over the last 3 weeks. I want to say that I want to express my appreciation to the Fianna Fáil organisation in my side of the constituency for their tremendous efforts in my behalf. Unfortunately, on this occasion, despite the fact that we succeeded in increasing our vote, we weren't successful. But I want to say here and now, I will be back. This is my second time. The gap has narrowed considerably since the last time, and if it narrows as much the next time as it did the last time, I would hope to be there at the top the next time. Indeed, congratulate Sean O'Levaughan and his organisation. They're a new organisation, hadn't any much experience of previous elections, and I think we must give credit that they did tremendously well to get such a vote on their first voting. I want to thank everyone who supported me, either with their number one first preferences or with their subsequent preferences, wherever they came from. I sincerely thank you, and I will continue to work for the benefit of this constituency in the future as I have in the past, and hopefully together we will be able to solve the enormous and unique problems that we have in this constituency, and which has highlighted themselves very manifestly over the last year and a half. So it's keep up the work on behalf of the constituency, regardless of what they are, and I have every confidence that together we can do a better job. But I've been long.
But I would like to thank both other organisations firstly. I was the new boy, very much so, at the start of this campaign, and in fact the Progressive Democrats in Cork North West are only about 7 months old. During the campaign I met all of these illustrious gentlemen behind me here on the doorsteps and at chapel gates. And I must say, in all that time, I was treated with the absolute courtesy, kindness and generosity. And their congratulations to me here today proves that. I thank them sincerely, and I also thank their many supporters along the way who did very well help us, because, as has been pointed out by Jack Roach, we are so new. I thank them very sincerely. Small band of dedicated workers, and indeed we are small. We were like ants, I think, beavering away. If only we had as many as the ants, we would have done very well. In fact, we are quite proud to have our 3,796 first preferences today. And the people who had enough courage to actually change, I say to you, thank you very much. You have shown a way forward. To my workers who slaved, and I use the word slaved, for me and for the organisation for the past 4 weeks, I thank you too. You will be remembered. Now, it has been my first experience, never in politics before, never a member of a party, and never in actual fact knocked on the door to this time. We were received, I must say, with excellent courtesy again. And to all those people, thank you too. We will, I warn the others, we will be back. In fact, we are not going away. So, to all the other candidates, to the presiding officer, to all the people who have been thanked already, I thank you very much. Deri Mesha, Beg Law, Ele Begum Bayrak.
Ladies and gentlemen, it only remains for me now to convey the thanks expressed by these gentlemen to all who participated in the election. And if I could express a special word of thanks to those present here. You were all a very well conducted crowd, and it was a pleasure really to run an election or a count here today. So I hope that we'll be seeing you all within the next 5 years.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after those scenes of great excitement, things have calmed down just a small bit here, and we have Donald Moynihan with us. Congratulations, Donald, on entering the Dáil again. You must be very pleased with the outcome.
Sure we are, but of course we're that bit disappointed that we didn't get the second seat, even though we increased our vote over the last general election. And well, I'm delighted to be back, but you know, we're that bit disappointed that we didn't get that Jack Ross wasn't coming with me.
At any stage did you think that she might get the transfer from Sean Reardon?
We were at one stage I thought that we should make it all right, you know, but I suppose we are too far back with the second. That Jack was that big far back, you know, to get the second, you know.
I'm sure that won't spoil your own personal satisfaction at achieving what you set out to achieve yourself.
Oh, not at all. We'll have to get down to work for the people of the area and the constituency. We are elected to do that, and that's our job, and that's what we're elected for, to help the people for the area and to better the area, and that's what we'll do.
Okay, thank you very much, Donald.
Before I finish that, I'd like to thank the voters and everyone that came out and helped us in any way, and everyone that voted for both of us in the constituency, whether it was in transfers or whatever way they came. We're very thankful to them, and like I said, we'll do our best for anyone, regardless of party, to better the constituency.
And as you said, you'll be back again anyway.
Yeah, we'll be back. Oh, we'll be back again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moynihan, and we appreciate you talking to us.
That was Gerard Coakley interviewing Donald Moynihan. And now we have Gerard interviewing Donald Creed.
Well, we're honoured to have the final member of the three candidates who have gone through here today. Donald, you must be absolutely elated.
I am very pleased because it worked according to plan. I'm glad it's over. It was a hard campaign, because the campaign was lasted about 4 weeks, non-stop, night and day, and I'm very pleased with the outcome, very pleased, and it reflects great credit on the organisation, because the way in which the maximum use was made out of the vote, and we still held our 2 seats.
That must have been the most, considering that it was supposed to be a touch and go constituency, that must be the greatest source of satisfaction, that you've managed to hold exactly the status quo as it was before.
Well, I did maintain at the outset that it would be one of the most marginal constituencies in the country. I was proved right. There is a trend against the government, which can be evidenced on the national results, and we had very little room to manoeuvre here. I am glad that I am very pleased that we did maintain our 2 seats, and we couldn't fight an election under worse circumstances, and we survived. And I think any other election we would have a much better chance, but the trend is against the government, and we certainly maintained our 2.
You mentioned there about 22 years service, so you must have gone through a few elections in that time. Was this one as sweet as any of the others, or does it stand out in your mind?
This one was the sweetest of all because the press, anybody, the politicians, they didn't give us a chance. And if you read the papers over the last few weeks, it was forecast 2 Fianna Fáil and 1 Fine Gael. One of the things which didn't help me that much, which I was worried about during the campaign, that everybody did think I had a safe seat. And I have 22 years in public life, I have 48 elections, and I would advise any candidate, no matter who he or she is, there is no such thing as a safe seat in a general election. And if we look through the results tomorrow morning, you will find where big names have toppled, and there isn't any such thing as a safe seat.
That certainly seemed to be the case, because yourself and Frank Crowley seem to be 1 and 2 or every second time topping the poll, getting in first and second.
Well, we have about 1,000 votes in the constituency that could be switched overnight. And the organisation is so well managed. Our constituency is divided. We have a border. It's divided between us. We very rarely meet one another during the campaign, and we have the utmost cooperation. We are said and led by an organisation that will run the campaign for us, so it has worked tremendously well up to now.
I presume, Mr. Creed, that you have great celebrations lined out now to celebrate this victory.
Well, that's quite true. I think the town will be a fairly lively place to be tonight, because all the supporters and workers in the constituency have come to town, and I know that they'll celebrate, and this is by far the sweetest victory, because everything worked for us. Everybody in the constituency worked. The polling booths, they were well manned. We had the constituency well postered. We did after mass meetings, we did a thorough canvass, and I think it all worked. And I would like to take the opportunity to thank all the people who voted for Frank Crowley and I, and the people who couldn't see their way to give us number 1 but gave us the lower preference, and for all that we're grateful. It all worked today, and we're elated.
Okay, thank you very much indeed,
Thank
Mr.
you
Creed, and we wish you all the best on the 25th all. Thank you.
And here we have Mrs. Creed and Louise Creed. Louise, how do you feel? She's delighted. And are you excited after a long, hard day?
Oh, naturally I am delighted for Donald, and we're all delighted. I must say it was a hard campaign, but has been well worth it.
So there'll be great celebrations tonight in the Creed house.
Nearly too tired for celebrations, I'd say.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Creed.